Hello everybody and welcome back to Merm's Minecraft, where today we are starting the episode off with some chores, and I'm going to talk you through sort of what we did here. So number one was fixing the farm roof. This is on the Froglight farm. There were some slabs that I was missing when I built this last episode. Oopsie daisy, so I just put them in there. And all is well with our farm. Gonna check that off our checklist here. Then I'm adding travel conveyors. So these are how we're going to get to our base. You can go along chains in the create mod with your wrench. So here I'm just kind of making a build that makes them fit in with the area a little more decorative and makes them stand out as opposed to the conveyors where we're going to be putting items on. Gave them that Viridian roof like we did everywhere else. Make them look nice and pretty. And it conceals the ugly central part of the conveyor as well. So we'll check that off. Number three, we're going to be adding item conveyors. These are for our froglights to be transported up the hill and into an area where we can eventually sort them out, like I was talking about last episode, and we'll get into that. And then here at the base, we'll be able to put them on that conveyor in packages. I'll show you that a bit later. And then here's me just kind of getting power sorted, putting shafts down all the way out to that area so we can get our conveyors moving. And here they are moving, and I'm just showing off how you can click on a wrench and travel along them. And that's a nice way to get from our subway station down to the farm, where we have a little base inside the second floor there, which is what we're going to work on next. For number four, adding an interior. So I'm just adding a little support beam there, adding a little light, covering that up, covering up our ugly shaft spinning. And here is adding the roof. And it's going to be a little awkward here because I tried to do this all in one go and it didn't go very well. So the birch is coming down, then I had to drop and strip it all. Makes it fit nice with our roof we had in there. Nice color. Love it. And we'll check that off. Next up is some landscaping. Starting off with flattening a mountain. However, before you flatten a mountain, of course, I wanted a beacon for haste 2 so I could insta-mine the stone. So here's a quick little wither fight I did. I had the skulls already. I just kind of got them passively while I was playing. You can see me building up the beacon on the left there. Taking down this mountain. Now this little mountain, I would keep it, but I'm trying to go for like a rolling hills, kind of rolling cliffs kind of vibe here. And the formation of that mountain was just not right. So I took it down, placed the stone up in there with some dirt, made it look a little more flat and a bit more of a gradual gain. We can check that off. Next up, flattening the hill for some track. So yeah, we're going to obviously have trains going through here. That's pretty much going to be a constant everywhere in the world. So I needed to shape up this area so that some track can go through here nicely. So I just kind of flattened out this area over here as well. Here's me. My tools were low from all the terrain digging I was doing. So I went to our XP shower back at the base and I'm flattening out the rest of the mountain here. And you go through and replace the bottom part with dirt as well. Pretty flat as it is right now. I'm sure we'll eventually put some buildings here and then shape up the landscape later on. But for now, just needed the space to work with. And that is that. So we can check off flatten the hill for the check. Then filling in the landscape. So we built a couple parts to house. You can see our item vaults up there. Did some terraforming last episode, but didn't finish it. Didn't fill it in here. So I'm going for like a bit of a red rock kind of look. I think it goes pretty well. We're putting dripstone on the bottom. It's kind of a brownish red. Helps transition it from the dirt. So we got that done. And the last one will speak for itself. Yep, there it is, everybody. Up on that hill there is our golden peak. So if you remember last episode, I named this place Golden Valley. Go in here, you can see it on our subway station there. I named this place Golden Valley, partially because of like the somewhat golden yellowish grass here. But I thought it would be really cool to just basically paint over this whole mountain here and give it this nice gold peak. Now, I will admit something to you right now, which is that it's a bit of a facade. Oh man, yeah. Collecting that many blocks to also fill out the other side is going to be annoying. That'll be on my bucket list for the future. I'm super proud with how this area is shaped up. There was a lot to do around here. Some other things I did and I didn't really focus on is I added paths going throughout the area. So you can see this path going down over to our farm, and then also one that comes out over this way into where like our packaging area is going to be. So just little things like that. I also added in some track, and as you can see with it like clipping through the ground there, this is not the final look of it, but I at least wanted to like get it down so I could kind of see where it was going to go around here. That'll help me put paths down and make sure I know I'm putting my buildings in the right spot. Like for example, these item vaults, they're going to have to move. I think I'm going to put them on the other side of the track. There's still a lot to do around here, and that's what we're going to get into today. But I think first, the whole purpose of this froglight farm was to finally decorate our trek in the nether. I think that's going to be the first task today. So down here in our temporary collection area, I've had a lot of time spent in this area, and we've got a lot of froglights going. So that'll be perfect. We can put that on the sides of our trek, keep everything nice and lit up like I talked about last episode. And then also, I'm up over behind the mountain right now. You can see the jungle wood peeking out there. I have secretly had a little sheep farm going while I've been doing this as well. Just a basic thing. We've got quite a bit of wool in there because I needed the carpet, if you remember, so that's really helpful too. I'm out here at the main base area, if you guys even remember this place. And we're going to be using trains to place down all of the blocks in the nether to decorate the track. It'll be automatic. But to do so, obviously, we need to make the trains, and you need the train controls. When I was looking at these, they require precision mechanisms. Now, I have been making these. I've just been... Well, first, let's look at the recipe. So it's a golden sheet. You deploy cog, large cog, iron nugget, but you need to do it 5 times. So I've been doing that manually, but it's getting kind of really annoying. So I think let's put a machine in our warehouse so we can automatically make these things. I'm going to keep this nice and simple. I don't think I've ever walked you through really my process when I'm making these bigger machines, like our mud machine here or the sturdy sheet machine. First, I like to lay down just kind of what we need. So we need to initially press the gold ingots, and then we need to deploy 3 times. And then I left all this space here so that we can loop back around 5 times. Then also, the fun thing about this recipe is that there's a 25 or 20% chance that it fails. So 80% you get the precision mechanism, 20% chance you get random salvage, which can be a few things. So we have an output here for the precision mechanisms, and then this is going to be for all that random garbage that it gives us. So to just kind of lay it out, we'll put in gold there, small cog, large cog, iron nugget up here, and our output out here. I'm going to go ahead and lay out the shafts here. So I believe we're going to need one going back here all the way there, and one coming out from it here that we can loop back on, and we can use the brass tunnels, put those there, and those should be able to loop back around. Now part of this is going to be filtering with these brass funnels or tunnels. There's funnels and tunnels. These are tunnels, these brass tunnels here. So we're going to need to do 2 filters here, I believe. First one, we want to say deny incomplete precision mechanism. So this is one that hasn't, see, you can see progress 1 out of 15. So I just put 1 cog on there. So this is an incomplete one. I'll say deny that, and I will say ignore data. That way it can be at any point in the sequence here. That progress bar can be at any point. So long as it's not completed, we will deny you from coming this way. This should force them to loop around to this belt, but we could also see complete precision mechanisms and the random salvages coming this way. So we need to do another filter that says allow on this side, that we force incomplete ones to go back on this belt and loop back around. Then to just extract our items, we'll put an andesite funnel there. Now I need to make sure that's going in the right direction. Yeah, see, it wasn't. I think I can just, there we go. The arrow indicates which way it goes, so it'll be extracting from that barrel over here. I'm going to put a brass one there. Going the wrong way again. Input. And an andesite one here. So the brass ones you can put filters on. And I just want to filter out the complete precision mechanisms here. We'll say allow list, precision mechanism. We'll put it on there. So this will only allow complete precision mechanisms to go into this barrel, and all the rest of the stuff, random salvages, will go into this chest. So with that all set up, I think we should be good to go. The last thing we need to do is just power everything. So this could get tricky. I have a hard time imagining how I'm going to fit this into this small space, but I'll figure something out. Okay, I believe I got it, and I had to get a little creative with it. I had to extend this out a bit and then change the setup over here. So now we're sending a shaft down and then using a gear shift onto this one. So we have our belts going two opposite directions and everything is powered. Should be good to go. I'll cover that up. Also, on the outside of the building, yeah, we're gonna have to find something to do there. But that's for later. So I think we should be good. We're just gonna ultimate stress test this thing right away. I'll finish that later. Grab all of our stuff here. So we should be able to do 5 here. Oh, and I forgot. I'm also going to use hopper upgrades. So this is sophisticated storage now. Hopper upgrades basically just turns the barrels, lets them push blocks below or pull from on top. So we need to upgrade them 1 tier so that they get an upgrade slot. See, they have 1. I'll give them hopper upgrades. You can see all of them just deployed onto the 3 deployers here. But I can put 25, 25, 25. That'll start filtering into the deployer. Now I should just be able to put 5 gold ingots in there. And if everything is set up and my theories were correct, this should just work. Why? Why no do? Why not doing? Why not doing? What? You can see this golden sheet in my inventory. It worked like a second ago. You're pulling out. Oh, I'm powering you. This lever's powering it. Okay, okay. I see. Easy fix. If I just come down here and power it from below, that should fix it. And now if I free cam up there, yep, it's not powered, so everything should be okay on that front. Now that was a resounding failure. They did go through, but did not continue. So let's just put one on the belt here. What the heck? This doesn't block it. Man, troubleshooting. This should be an easy fix though. So basically what's happening here is that you can see if I put a full block here and see this part here. So this is actually blocking this tunnel. I think for some reason the barrels, maybe they're not being counted as a full block or something. But you can, put the right block on. See, that little part doesn't come up here. So it's letting blocks through. So I think the fix is just going to be to throw a filter on with allow nothing. Nothing can come here. All right, we're going to stress test this thing with 10 gold ingots. So it's 10 recipes. We'll put 50 cogs, 50 large cogs, 50 iron nuggets in. We should be able. Everything's flowing. Flowing beautifully. It's filtering. We're stuck. Why are we stuck? They're getting held up. Why are they getting held up? Well, now we're clearly in some kind of flow state. Didn't pass the stress test. Okay, I did one more stress test that failed, as you can see here, and it didn't work out, but we'll try this. I put a barrel here. I think what was happening was this part was getting bogged down. I think there was too much in the inventory, and it wasn't able to output. I got a barrel which should have a little bit of buffer, and then it just goes out onto the line here. I'm hoping this works. So I got my deployers all loaded up. Let's put them in. What the heck? Huh? Wait, what?
5 hours later.
They shouldn't just be going through like that. What? Oh, I took the power away. Okay, let's pretend that didn't have. Oh no, we need to go get 10 more gold. This needs to be a real test. Oh my gosh, I'm stupid. Oopsie daisy, oopsie daisy. Add that to the rest of the fails. Need 10 gold. Okay. And I'm back over there. Alright. Try again. This is beautiful. Oh, slowing down. But still working. Still working. They're coming in. I think that did it. Yeah, and this is able to hold a little buffer as you saw there. And that's all of them. Perfect. pass the stress test. All right, I got this thing all prettied up. So after this little detour, it's time to make some trains. So here is our brand new train, and she'd be named the White Tracker. So we got a couple things going on here. First, we got rollers out in front here. I had to offset them by 1 because, check this out. If I just grab a couple blocks here, when they're all in a row like this, when you set the filter on them, it sets them all to the same, no matter what. There's no way around that. I looked it up. So, given that we're putting down 3 different blocks, because if you remember, it's the froglights and then the concrete powder in the middle, I had to offset the middle one up a block. So this middle one's going to be placing concrete powder, and then we got 2 kinds of froglights on the side. Then these deployers up here will be placing carpet all along as we go. And here's what the inside looks like. So we got barrels for all of our materials here, 2 kinds of froglights. I left out the purple one because I think that's the best looking one, and I'm probably going to use it to build. So we got the yellow and the green. We got our concrete powder, our white carpet, a regular old barrel, and then we got 2 contraption controls here. These can be used to turn on and off the machines at the front. So when I don't want to be placing track, I can click those on, and we can move this thing on over to our track and start placing. Okay, I moved us on over to this stretch of track, which is the longest stretch we have right now, so we can kind of stress test this thing. So I should be able to walk over here, turn these off, and they should start running. Oh, I gotta control the train. Should start placing. Well, that was awkward. Anyways, I have had to do so much troubleshooting with this thing, and it turns out that it can only pull from storages if they're on the same carriage. So technically, if we go and look at our, gotta grab my super glue here. If we look at our glue, this portion is glued together. This portion is glued together. And you can only have 2 bogies per carriage. So that's these 2 right here. And this one was separate. So since the storage was on this one, it wasn't recognizing it. So I have condensed our train into 1 carriage. So this one can go. Big legs back there. This one can go. And now, hopefully, finally, this train should be able to place our track. Okay, with that out of the way, we are back on the track. I should be able to flip both of these guys, turn our deployers and our rollers on. Now, when I start moving, it's placing. So we got carpet coming down and concrete coming down from above. It's all white. That's exactly what we're looking for. I'll have to do this part manually, but then I would just go through with some cut diorite stairs here. Place them correctly on both sides. Hello. And that is our track design. Well, that didn't get me very far at all on the map here. This is a stretch I was able to do with all that. So definitely gonna have to spend some more time farming up froglights and wool. Those are the main things that we're hurting for here. But for now, let's make that thing's counterpart, the black train here. Well, this is all I was able to get done for the black track. I did try and sort out some of these intersection points. So here's kind of what I got going for those. I think they look pretty good. I like how this is shaping up. It's just I need a lot of resources to get this done. I'm really hurting for wool, mostly for the carpets, and then kind of frog lights. So we have both of those farms over in Golden Valley, so I can go AFK for those. But for now, I think we're going to move on from the tracks. So now we're going to turn our attention back towards Golden Valley here. Finally work on that storage and filtering system for our froglight farm. Also, our power gen area still needs a build surrounding it. Let me whip that up real fast. So there it is. I also extended our paths and made this little staircase up here, so they go out this way now and then up to the track. Eventually we'll connect those together. Probably have it go down the hill over here as well, but go up the stairs here. And this is the build. Nothing crazy. Honestly, wanted it to look more like almost like a glorified electrical box. Like, not a place that people really work in or live in, but just a structure that exists to protect the things inside of it. And I think that's what we kind of accomplished here. And I wanted to bring a little bit more color into the world. I'm also trying to use blocks a little more with more intention. You know, you see people talk about things like shading all the time. So I just put a slightly darker shade up here towards the top where this might be casting a shadow. I don't know. Hopefully makes sense. I think it looks pretty nice. Fits well in the area. But now let's turn our attention back over there to the Froglight farm and finally set up this sorting system and packaging system. So I'm starting off here just by kind of moving things around. So we used to have the vaults over on this side. I moved them to over there, and also the chain conveyor comes up and goes kind of to the left. I think we're going to change it. So we're going to take this one down, move it on over to the right here. The other problem though is this chain conveyor is actually how I'm getting power to the whole area. That's what this whole thing is. I'm gonna have to go down here where I ran all these shafts and redirect them over there. So if you've played Crit, you probably knew it was coming, but with these chains here, you can actually receive packages through frogs. And since we have so many frogs in the area, how fitting is that? So there's these package Frogports, which connect to these packagers, and that's what we're going to be using. So I'm going to put a barrel down, and I believe packager next to it, and a Frogport on top that we need to connect to a chain. So just clicking it there. Yeah, looks good. There's our Frogport. Now you can name these guys. So I'm going to name this Froglight Receiver. And you could send and receive or only send. Well, this guy's going to be only receiving. So there's that. And here we got, we can name them something fun now. As it appears. That's fine. So we got Froglight Receiver there. And then at the other end, we need to get a packager to package. So over by the farm here on the side of it, we got the start of our chain conveyors here. And I put a barrel down just to kind of test this. So we're going to put another packager, another Frogport. We're going to click on that side, I think. Too far away, huh? Actually, I don't think it matters. Just go right there. Boom. We're going to call this Froglight Froglight Sender. Now, the way these guys work, when they're attached to an inventory, they'll take the things in it and put them into a package. So if I hit this button, it creates a package. The frog guy sends it up there. Now it's spinning around. That's because it has no address right now. You can see we got a package. You can just place them down when you hit them. See, all our items are in there. Now, to send them over, by the way, right here, hopefully we can see. You can't see it. I renamed that frog because his name was too long. But I named him Frogseaver. We got the Frogseaver and the Frog Sender. So now that we've put a sign on it that says Frogseaver, it will know where to send the items. If we click it again, the package starts going. And I'll get on the chain here and follow this thing up the hill. My chains go pretty slow on this side. And it's now nearing the end of its journey. And that Frogseaver there will take it. Boom. Unpackage it in the packager. Here are our items. So that's how we're going to send our items from the frog up the hill to our sorting area. Okay, so now we just need a system to filter and sort. I moved Mr. Frogseaver back over here because I realized I needed more room. So we're just going to want to extract from that barrel, put it into the tunnel, and then we can filter out each kind of frog light. So we'll go green, yellow, and then in the front here, we'll do the purple. So now only those items can exit from that spot on the tunnel. Then, of course, we also need our inputs into, oops, did that wrong. Boop, arrow's facing in. We need our inputs into our lovely item vaults here. Last but not least, we're going to need to power this guy. And of course, it's going the wrong direction. Hey guys, Marm from the future here. So as it turns out, I had my OBS set to the wrong scene when I recorded the next few scenes, and they were having this like flickering error. So I definitely cannot include that in videos in case anyone's sensitive to that. So we're gonna have to go from the future here. I have finished the sorting system, and I will just kind of show you what I did. It wasn't a whole lot, so don't feel like you missed out on a big bit of content here. I can walk up on the scaffolding here. So one of the big things is I was using a button to power this before. And so what I did instead was I used a threshold switch. That's what's down here. Let me look that up just to show you. It's one of these guys. Pretty simple recipe. And what those do is they will check the amount of items in a storage that they're connected to. They're connected to this barrel, which is receiving items from the farm. And it's set to 512. That's 8 stacks. And so what this will do is when there's 8 stacks of items in there, power on. Power on when 512 items. And then when it drops below that, so equal to or less than 511 items, it'll power back off. So that just means every time this hits 8 stacks of items, this will power on, package it, and send it up the hill. Then down here in the kind of underbelly where we have that mine cart running through and collecting all the items, I kept the hopper chain. So the items it collects come right through this hopper into the barrel, and then I just added a belt here, goes into some chutes, and that takes it up to the barrel up above. Then up on top of the hill here, I got our power in, and everything is moving the correct direction. We got one belt coming out this way, one belt going into that item vault. So it sets the 3 frog lights. Then I changed this out for a filter, which allows the green frog lights and the magma cream. So I realized I wasn't doing anything with the magma cream. That just deposits into this barrel now. So this will filter out the frog lights into the item vault. So we have frog lights in each of our item vaults, and then the magma cream comes here into this barrel. And I want to do something with it in the future. I remember mentioning that the magma cream actually has a freezing recipe right here, which turns it into slime balls. If you remember, that's what you use to breed frogs in this game. And we have our frog generators over on that side of the hill, so I could eventually move our magma cream over there, but that's a lot of work, and I just don't want to do that right now. But anyways, that's pretty much where I left off. There wasn't much left to do here, but the sorting system is all set, and I think I just want to put a building around that because I feel like we haven't done enough building recently. So I got a design, and I just got to put it in my world here, so let's get building. So there it is, the build to finally wrap up this area and the Froglight farm, at least for now. I think it looks pretty nice. I like this little lookout area we got. So the functionality of this, I mean, you'll see that right up next to the trains here. These are portable storage interfaces, and these are how you can move items onto trains. So when we eventually get to that phase of the game, this building, we're going to revisit this and make these functional. So I'm just kind of looking ahead by installing those here. And then you can see I got the 3 colors which match up with our frog generators. So we can just see where the 3 colors are coming from there. And yeah, up here we got this little pipe thing, which, do you see it? Do you recognize it? Check this out. Check this out. You see it? Yeah. With this andesite part here, I was trying to go for a look to make it seem like kind of the teeth of the pump here. I think that looks pretty good. I don't know. I think I did pretty good with that. But what are we pumping? I didn't actually put it in there yet. Let me scaffold up to there. That did not work at all. Couple more. Couple more. Here we go. Get on over there. All right, so I'm going to break this. We're putting in a lime dye bucket. So great enchantment industry, one of the add-ons we have, the one that adds all the enchanting stuff, has a dependency that adds dye buckets. And these are, you can use them to like dye stuff in the fans, and they're also decorative. So I thought, why not put one in there, let it flow, and now you can see our big old pipe on the side there has some green liquid in it. I'm thinking with the magma cream coming from this way as well, we can kind of make it look like, I don't know, we're pumping like slime down into the ground and it goes over to our frog generators. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's the build for today. And the interior is not totally done. I mean, I'm missing a lot of roof stuff, but I put a little walkway up here, and I also decorated some of our belts and just changed up how this stuff looks. Put wood underneath and these trapdoors to make everything look supported. So everything's going in here, and we got this nice big window on the side. And with that build done, that's going to be it for today's episode of Merms Minecraft. I also want to say, recently I've been getting a lot of support on the videos, and it's been really nice to see views going up. And most importantly, people are actually watching. There's a little stat about the average like view duration, and that's been going up a lot. So that tells me people are watching, people are enjoying, and that makes me happy. And you know, the numbers, they give me motivation here. So yeah, if you like the series, subscribe. It makes me feel good. It makes me want to do these more. So that's going to be it for today. See you later.